I've created a perfect quarterback, and I thought what would be a better idea than putting him on a team that went 0-12. Does he even stand a chance at having any success at Kent State? I'm going for it all in this video, a Heisman, a championship, a girlfriend. But Kent State plays a schedule that isn't too favorable with road games at Oklahoma, Florida State, and Texas Tech. When you factor in my skills, playing on the hardest difficulty, I have no idea how this will go, but I wanted to play with myself again. Now I know what you're thinking, I'll address it. Bordeaux. That guy is 5'8". You are clearly 6'6" on a good day, but I wanted to challenge myself since our stats are so insane. If you're wondering who I'll be throwing to, some of these guys have like 84 speed, so I'm not looking forward to that. But for the only time this season, our overall is higher than our opponents in the opener. The good thing about using Kent State is they have so many jersey combos that I think we're going to have a different one for each game. We're starting off at home, and we're just going to open up this game with a simple stick concept. I should be able to complete about every single pass. The only time I'm expecting drops is whenever it's on our receiver. I also want to take off with some runs, but we did not get anywhere there. It is now 3rd and 2. And we're just going to hit that hole super quick. I think what I'm already starting to realize is even having 99s for everything, by the time we're facing like Texas Tech next week, I might not be able to carry this team, but I see a one-on-one matchup over there. We're facing off against an FCS cornerback, so we're going to make the catch, and we're getting into the end zone. I didn't know we had it like that. Okay, maybe we're not as bad off with at least one of these receivers. Deshaun Martin is the guy to keep an eye out for. Our team forced a turnover, by the way, which is how we have it back inside the red zone. I don't know why Deshaun's wearing number 22 as a receiver, but I'm looking back in his direction. I want to consistently feed this kid. I also understand if I'm going to win the Heisman Trophy in this video, I need to get credit for basically every single touchdown. What does that mean, you might ask? It means we're going to be greedy. Are we handing off the ball? Never. We're always going to run it ourselves. For the first time in over a year, it seems like these Kent State fans are going to witness a win, but we're using a perfect quarterback. This is not a shock to me, and I am kind of curious like what all we can do back here in the pocket with our 99 speed, even on Heisman. I thought I could escape that. Don't worry, don't worry. It was just a test. Now I know for the rest of the season, I won't be able to get away with stupid stuff like that right there. And let's see how long I can go without throwing an interception. I'm really hoping that I can actually go most of the season without one. It's going to be a 4th and 1. And I think we're going to get out of Kent State's playbook next week just because I haven't been a huge fan of these quarterback runs. But that QB zone was lethal. You know what? We are going to have a fun time this season playing with myself. And look at this play right here called Y Sail. I've been told one of the best passing plays in the game. We're going to roll out, throw it above that kid's head. That is great. Once we get a 28-point lead, this game's over, so there would be no purpose to staying in it. I love how we're routing them up. Are we going to be able to do that against any team other than an FCS school? I have no idea, but we're taking the read option and we're going to spin for a few more. I don't know how to describe it though. For having 99 speed, it doesn't necessarily feel like it. We'll take going up by 28. Past that point, we just keep getting the ball back, and I'm going to go for some jump balls. That felt like the right thing to do. Quarterback zone, final play of the half, and we're going to have to truck our way into the end zone. This really doesn't feel fair, but I think it's all going to change against Texas Tech. Even worse though, as I was running up the score, this happened on one of the drives. I got hit as I was throwing it, and they got a pick on me. That kind of made me just tone back our offense for the rest of the game. We probably could have put up more points, but it wasn't worth risking more turnovers. We really didn't throw for that many passing yards or touchdowns. Most of our success came on the rushing side of things, just getting 3 on the ground there. To win the Heisman though, we seriously just have to cut out turnovers. And I knew it was bad at Kent State. But what I didn't realize was when I counted all of these guys, there are 63 players on the Golden Flashes that are threatening to transfer out. Just keep that in mind. That's the team we're currently working with as we go into this game at number 24, Texas Tech. It's just really starting to sink in. I put the perfect quarterback on the worst team in the country. There's a reason they went 0-12 last season. I've done this challenge a lot in other games, but EA was super kind about the overalls last year. Kent State was like a 70. This year, they decided they wanted to be a little bit more realistic with it, and now we're leaning on some players to make plays that aren't so good. We were just able to juke out back-to-back defenders, though, so I'll take that. They had an instant shed on that play. And I'm treating this like Road to Glory. If we don't pick up this 3rd and 4, we will have to punt it back to them, but you know who's getting open. DeMarcus Martin might actually be what is going to carry this team all season. I threw it straight at him. I thought he was on the drag. See, these are the reads I'm going to have to go through all year. There's a reason that even with a perfect quarterback, it's not going to be easy. Look at this elite level bait as well. Even though I should know he's in his zone, he's stuck with the drag for a little bit, and then I hit the button to throw it. He's immediately there. Texas Tech did not respect us, though, so they went for it 3 times on 4th down on their last drive. And they didn't end up getting it the 3rd time. We're getting out of there immediately on the start of our 2nd drive with a quarterback run. I knew I could bust it once. The real trick's going to be busting multiple times. If I can get a lot of big runs like that, we're going to win these games easily. I feel like I might need to say pause after that last sentence. That one might have been a little bit outrageous. But Texas Tech did score. They went for it on 4th and goal from the 8-yard line, so it just really shows they're going to continue to go for it against us. I have no control over what happens on defense. It's like Road to Glory. All I can do is just spectate. We're going to use this kid as a blocker. Great blocking, dude. We're going to need better than that. I'm keeping it on every read option, though they were able to cut us off. And let's see what they're giving us on 3rd and 5. Tight end sitting right there. He catches it. Was that open? I think we know the answer to that. Christian Berry doesn't seem to care, though. I also haven't really noticed the effects of using a 5'8 quarterback at this point in the game. We're going to try and make a throw to the back of the end zone. That's got to be a touchdown catch. That's got to be a touchdown catch. I have thrown the challenge play. I've had multiple challenges overturned. There was a ref standing right there. He landed on him, but he touched inbounds. I really can't tell. They didn't give it to us, though. Am I tripping out? I mean, he gets hit in the air right here, but I feel like one of his feet had to hit the ground. It never does. And then he just skates off of his back and then rolls over out of bounds. It is so hard to tell because of the black turf, but it's almost like his foot just doesn't touch here. It never actually touches somehow, and then the back of his leg hits out of bounds first. I don't know. I still feel like that should have been a touchdown catch, mainly just because of how sick the grab was. He held on to the ball. After getting hit like that, it says a lot. We're going to have to get this throw off, though. I just wanted to roll out there and scramble for the first, but instead we're getting taken out so we can take our 3. To end the first half, unfortunately, Texas Tech was able to score a touchdown. But I have some hope that we're going to manage to get into field goal range with not much time remaining on the clock. It's going to take a really good playmaker from here, though. And that's what we're going to get. 6 seconds left on the clock. 5, 4, we're good. This has been so strange for me using a perfect quarterback. I've basically only used bad quarterbacks on this game so far, so I'm just not used to completing everything. The ball is getting placed exactly where I want it to, though I was having a composure issue, so the hot route I wanted to make was not working before the play. We're trying to run out of the pocket, and we just got a major speed boost to get 9. That was stressful. That was probably not necessary, but the defense has gotten confused. They've left Brown wide open, and we're going to be able to hopefully tie this up with the 2-point conversion. We don't really have them too spread out here, but I felt like a quarterback run was our best option. It wasn't, though, and then they scored immediately, so I'm not quite sure how we're going to overcome the Red Raiders. See, at the moment, they have literally scored on almost every single one of their drives, so I've been trying to counter all of that by outscoring them, but we're not doing a great job so far. We still have a long way to go whenever it comes to winning this game, but they decided to run man-to-man and left this side of the field wide open. Luckily for us, there is some hope. They only scored a field goal on their last drive, which means we still have a fighting chance. In this game, we have rushed for 175 yards. Rushing has been the best thing I've done. Of course, scrambling is always going to be pretty effective. Now, nothing can excuse that right there. I was hoping that we would just slide, but instead we took a major shot. I feel like if we weren't a 99 overall, there would have been a lot of fumbles. I have decided that we got to start taking some time off of the clock, though. By the time that we score, they just can't have that much time left to respond. And we just had enough speed to escape that. If we didn't, it was over. We still have not been able to close this one out, though. We got my favorite RPO play down on the goal line, and we are in the end zone. I've been sweating. There's still a chance this goes to overtime, too. Or we could even lose it outright. We're going to be looking for our tight end on that route right there. He's open, and he's going to catch it. Now, the beauty of doing this inside Dynasty instead of Road to Glory is we can actually watch our defense play to see if they're able to stop Texas Tech or if they get into field goal range. This is out of our control. All we are is a quarterback, but a short pass isn't going to help them too much. I actually think we might have pulled this road win off as they take it down to 2 seconds left and get out of bounds. You know, one loss probably ruins our chance at making it to the playoffs, getting a championship, even winning the Heisman, but that one loss is not going to come here. We have a long way to go this year. There's going to be a lot of challenges like this one, but I think we figured out something that can always bail us out. I'm also dapping up Coach right there. Just identical lookalike. 227 passing yards, probably 200 rushing yards as well, 4 tutties. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, I talked about the interceptions. I didn't want to have many of those, but we can overlook it for a win like that. Interestingly enough, I've also started to notice that we are earning skill points throughout the year, and that's going to allow us to purchase different abilities like Extender. We get Extender, we can now break sacks so much easier. That is unfortunately the one thing I was not able to max out, but I think we're going to progress quite a bit if we continue to play like this. Looking at our championship contender grade as well, we have cracked inside the top 100. We have a long way to climb if we're going to even be in playoff contention, but we're moving up in the world. We went 0-12 last year. It's a long way to climb from 136, but we're starting conference play against Buffalo before we take on Florida State and Oklahoma on the road. Those are both going to be brutal. I'm not looking forward to that. Some of these MAC games could be as well, though. I can't overlook any of these opponents, or else we lose one and the season's over. At least if we lose against like an Oklahoma, a Florida State, our ranking won't take as big of a hit. We could still win our conference, be the 5th highest conference champion. But if we lose against Buffalo, it's over. There is simply no explanation for that. But look at the baby blue jerseys getting their debut in this season. I see a side of the field that's wide open. We just didn't get there quick enough, though, so we're going to have to make a quick read here. Our running back's there, and even with an awful meter, it's not going to matter. I should actually get bailed out quite a bit, just having 99 throw accuracies and everything. We're going to pull it on the read option and hope that our blocks hold. Look at how we're toting that football. I love this animation here. I said it. So we would run like that. I don't know. I don't like holding it close. I want the other team to know how confident and cocky we are. I also tried to set our pre-snap stance to where we would be basically crouching back there in the pocket, but it doesn't seem to work even though it said it would. I think they pulled it over from Madden and it was the old Jalen Hurts one. I really just wanted to see him back there in shotgun, sitting very, very low. It's all good though. Things seem to be going pretty well against Buffalo so far. And Deshaun Martin is getting that separation. He is the one receiver on this roster I'm going to seriously trust. I'm also curious, 99 hurdling, it works. It does not matter if you are 5'8", you can still pull it off. I was going to throw our tight end in the end zone, but honestly, it'd be better if we just took it in like this. This has been beautiful so far. We have not run into any major problems. Our fans are starting to pick up in the stands too. It's not completely empty anymore, which it probably was in our debut. I am here to save Kent State football. Not as a coach this time. I've rebuilt them, I think, every year for the last 3 years whenever I do the worst team in the game. So I thought, why not do it as a player? Went for a little bit of a fun play there with an aggressive catch. We are going to run backwards in the pocket and then find a receiver down the field, except I didn't see the safety there. I honestly thought Banks was just running free. We're going to pretend that he was blended into the MAC logo on the field, and if he wasn't, oh well. I think if that was a bullet pass, we would have had our success. I'm not doing a very good job of having no turnovers so far, but are you going to be able to stop me back there in the pocket? Imagine if we had the magician ability. It would be even more unstoppable. I don't know why, but it is easier for me to escape against real schools than it was against someone like an FCS East, and Playmaker is just so OP. You know, so much for defense being perfect on this game and being a lot better. You get yourself a perfect quarterback, and you're just going to feed everybody, because that's what we've been doing so far. Our defense has also been seriously holding it down, which is something I was not prepared for. Are we about to outrun somebody? No, we are not. 3rd and 10. This is where we just try and make a crazy play. Getting around that kid, getting around this other kid, and going for like a 90-yard touchdown run. Give me the hurdle. We are ending this one in the first half, like some of these other matchups. Roll out, set the feet, and then complete the pass. This is insane. I can literally throw anything. And I know what you're thinking. You got a perfect quarterback. Of course you can throw anything. But I just haven't experienced this. Last year, I mean, I put guys like Lamar Jackson in the game, Josh Allen, and I was still missing quite a few throws. That route from our tight end isn't caught. Little disappointing, but I am hoping that Barry can get open in the end zone. If not, Deshaun Martin, man-to-man coverage, get it out, turn around, and miss it. I hate that they forced us to settle for 3, but I think you all can see the direction this game is going in. I mean, we are just so fast, they're not going to be able to stop us. I've really been focused on rushing yards because I almost think we need to be treated as a running back versus a quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy. I also finally figured out how to hit the Quan, which I don't know why. It just took me forever. What was that guy's arm doing inside of me? That was weird, but this is good stuff right here. I'm simming to the end, and we got a 90-yard rushing touchdown. We might as well hop in and pad our stats one more time. This is going to be such a good season. We are going for some record-shattering numbers. I don't know how all this is going to hold up. We're about to have 2 challenging road games, but it's not the passing yards that this game should be focusing on. We only went 11 for 19. We threw an interception. We were not completing many of our passes, but do you know what we did on the rushing side of things? averaging 20.6 yards per carry. Whenever it comes to Kent State history, we've already put our name in the record book once for having the most rushing touchdowns in a game. The next thing we need to go for is passing touchdowns in a game. And what I'm more interested in is, have we entered the Heisman race? I feel like when you're at a small school, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get your respect, but we are up there at #1 already. We can look at some of these other stats from other players. They're going to put up a good fight. But let's see. Sam Levitt's only thrown for 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, just 1 pick. He's not rushing for much. It's just not his style. When you compare him to myself, it's a no-brainer who the better quarterback is, even if our passing stats look much worse. We have to maintain this, though, and even though Florida State went 2-10 last year, they were able to rebuild their roster. This could be where our run ends, or it could be where we take another step forward as a player and perform even better. I think we have to go in with the expectation that Florida State's going to score on every one of their drives. They already started off the game right. Stadium Pulse pretty loud at the moment, but we're going to have our hitch route to Banks, and Banks is going to get close to the marker. Anytime we can get a 4-down line set like this, we're going straight up the middle with our quarterback. He's got a chance to hit that hole and blast off. As much as I enjoy going for highlight plays, this is not one of those games where I can act like an idiot back there in the pocket either. We can save that for max schools. I really only have a couple of seconds each play. It is already 3rd and 15. I think what we're going to try and do is just escape here. If we can get around this kid, we have a long way to go until we reach the marker. But we cut, and we got to dive for this. We got to dive for this. We went through his head. You know what, though? I'm going to look back at that in instant replay, and if it looks weird, who cares? We got like that Kyler Murray running going on here. I really thought with the ball as loose as it was here that he was just going to come through and knock it out. I mean, this had to have just gone straight through him, though. I guess it didn't. It is pretty funny to look at, though, whenever you slow it down. He was just looking up into his eyes like, there's no way you just dove from the 3-yard line for this. We also got to stop against Florida State on the 1-yard line. I don't know what button our running back is, but we got to get it out, and the halfback screen gets us in a safer spot. Man, the fact that I'm going to have to go from playing with this type of team with a 99 overall quarterback back to FIU is going to be a hard adjustment. Even though the roster is not great, I mean, we've just been making plays that are not going to be possible in a second. Oh no, though, that was not the right move there. I don't know why I thought we were about to escape. I'm just going to have to step up and get us back in safety zone. We literally have got to pick this up. We can't have any drives where we don't. On 3rd down, we're throwing it over that kid's head. He got to it. I really don't appreciate that as I'm simming either. I can see that every single time they get on 4th down, they just go for it because they really think that they're going to blow us out. Like, they are never settling for a field goal. We're going to see if we can get out of there, though. We break 1 tackle. That was close. It just wasn't good enough. We're waiting on our crossing route. We're going to hit him in stride, and we're going to hang on to the football, get around 1 player, and get tackled. I like what I'm seeing, though. 2 minutes left in the first half. Do I need to be careful about how quick we score? Threw that one a little bit soon. I was just worried about how fast they were going to get in pressure. We have the blockers to get into the end zone here, but they caught us. Now, I came out trying to quarterback Neal to run more time off the clock without scoring a touchdown, but Florida State was smart. They called a timeout so they could get it back. That's why after that play, they called another timeout. They want a chance to score again. It doesn't help the computer got smarter. What does help us, though, is they punted it back to us. I am trying to hot route our best receiver. I don't think he's going to beat the press in this situation. We almost just took a safety, but this is what we wanted. We wanted the open field, and that's going to get us to the 30. Those little legs are putting in some work at the moment. I would love to make some downfield throws. We're going to catch this or not. And you know what? We have a new plan. I'm trying to figure out the blocking. If we go pass protection, it's not working at the moment. I was hoping to shift our line to that left side. If we got a man-to-man look, I was just going to run over there and go for a huge scramble. Instead, though, this works as well. I guess when you're dealing with home field advantage effects, you can't even go for pass protection adjustments. We'll see what we do with these final 11 seconds. I mean, I feel like it's just been the same type of strategy. Run for as much as we can. I'm actually really happy with how this first half went, though, except they just blocked our kick to end it. What? Hello? Hello? Can somebody explain to me how my own teammate just lagged out mid-play? What happened? Did he lose connection to his controller? I don't get it. And I also don't understand how we're starting the 3rd quarter on a 2nd and 23. There's some very, very buggy things in this game at the moment. I know that the longer you play stuff, you run into more stuff, but I just don't understand how you even would try to explain that. We have an open receiver, though. Are we going to be able to do anything with this? Please make this catch. Come on. I guess second time is the charm. Maybe we hit the field goal this time. I'm just so baffled at what we just witnessed, though. It's so broken. So broken. We are very fortunate, though, with Florida State's offense being awful. They've only scored 14 points. They're running cover 1. So what am I supposed to do against that? I have got to scramble. If I try and pass, we're just not getting open. We're going to try our best to throw the football here. I know we've not done much of it. We literally have 57 passing yards in this game, but it has led to us having a good bit of success. And let's see. Let's see. That did not look like a comfortable tackle to have to experience. We're going to look at the pocket, though. We're going to juke to the left side. And juking to the left side has allowed us to get another. We're actually in a really nice spot in this game, too. Florida State gets a field goal, so we remain up by 7. Running backs open. More passing. I have no problem with trying to chew a little bit of clock either. There's only 4 minutes left in this one now. We are able to get around one defender, but not all of them. I really wish that we had the archetype where we could get shifty. I think it would just make this season so much fun, and that's a good completion. Now, I have decided that I'm a player lock for this play. I'm just curious. What would happen with the jet touch pass if I wasn't on our wide receiver? He loses yards. Not really what we were looking for there. Looks like man-to-man coverage, though, and I can look at you all as I do this. I'm blind. I don't even know what's happening right now. Not looking at my screen. Spin move. Where are we at? I think we're at, like, the 20. I could see a little bit out of the corner of my eye. I saw the little guy that was trying to pursue us, but we just knew what was coming. From this point, Florida State has no timeouts left. We pick up a first down. This game's over with the quarterback kneel. I mean, either way, it is probably over. I would just prefer to end it ourselves. I don't want our defense to be in control of what happens. We're taking the knee. We're 4-0 with Kent State. We've won 4 more games than they did last year. I mean, they won 0. We'll see what happens against Oklahoma, though. I'm a little scared we're going to face a defensive scheme at some point that does a better job against scrambling quarterbacks. I know I already mentioned this in FIU episode 2, but this adaptive AI, it controls what the computer does play calling wise, how they make their adjustments. I talked to CJ Gardner-Johnson about it, and he said that the best one is Mad Scientist. They'll send all sorts of different stunts and twists that will really throw you off. Whatever ours is set to doesn't really matter, but what the computer has it set to does, because that's what we have to face off against, and it just depends on what the coach has. We're about to play Oklahoma. They're number 17 in the country. And after this, we get to resort to MAC conference games, but we're about to play a team that is 25 overalls better than us. It also might turn into a night game. Just looking at the sky off the rip, we'll see what ends up happening. I didn't quite look at the kickoff time. The sun is still out for now, though. With the Stadium Pulse being ranked 8th in the country, I know that it's going to be a long day. Did he just snag that with one hand? You know I'm a fan of the aggressive catches on this game. I've been loving them. But that is the most satisfying catch and turn I have seen yet. None of it matters if we can't pick up this 3rd and 1, but I'm pretty sure we can keep this and outrun whoever's on that edge no matter what. We're going to cut up field, and we get caught. By now, though, you have probably noticed that Oklahoma only scored 3 points on their first drive. That right there, though, was the first real and accurate throw I think we've run into. You combine that with a bad second down play call, it's 3rd and 11 where we're going to roll out. I might have our slant, but it's just safer to scramble. We are faster than every other player out there on the field, though not in this situation. He came at us quick, making it 2nd and 21. That was one of the worst routes I've ever seen. I want you to know that I was locked in on Brown making a great cut. That's like a Spencer James type route there. Nobody's fallen for that. They make the bad route running guys actually have some pretty bad route running. I hate that we're about to have to do this on 3rd and 21. Also, our receiver's just down on the ground. But what else do you want me to do? They're sitting there in man-to-man coverage, bringing in pressure on 1st and 10. And watch this. We're going to throw it to the other side of the field, and we're going to pick up a first. We're still going for credit on every single touchdown, so that's why the speed option in this scenario might not be the best, but we got in before we had to pitch it. I'm hoping that we launch this ball at the crowd as well. It wasn't a hard throw. There are some of the times where your player will do that celebration and just beam somebody. It is one of the funnier things you can get away with on this game, but you can see it's gotten darker. We have a night game on our hands. Is the crowd going to get any louder? I'm not sure, but they almost got that pick. You can see why I'm nervous to throw the ball in those situations, though I'm curious, how are they going to match up on Garcia? I'm waiting. The safety is so going to play this, but we're throwing it up anyway. We catch it. You know, you can sit there and say that the computer catches a lot of crazy aggressive catches in this game, and it's true, but you also catch a lot of crazy balls in this game. You can't get the sack on the first tackle, but they are going to bring us down. I'm still baffled by that last catch, though. Free blitzer. No one picked him up. We might just be tying things up unless we get open versus them. That's a solid route from Martin. Deshaun Martin's got me pretty excited at the moment. Man-to-man coverage against him. This time, they clamped down. It's okay, though. We kind of forced that there. I was hoping to get it out to our receiver in this situation, but we can just take it in. The biggest problem, we left the Sooners time to score before the end of the first half, so they're going to score before the end of the first half. Their zones also just locked down on the route that I wanted to hit there. They had the coverage stats for it, and I think we're just going to have to escape and make a play on the ground with our legs. No one's picking us up in time. Using that speed, we're going to juke and get brought down around the 35. We did end up using our first timeout, though. I think it's best that we get a breather before these next 18 seconds. We're going to have an open receiver. We just have to place it short of those safeties, and we're in the end zone. You know, being able to place the ball about anywhere, even when you're off of your back foot, it's a sweet thing. I wish I could just play with a perfect quarterback more often. I mean, we're going to go for escaping the sack here. We're going to get it out to Garcia. And we did all of that for a 0-yard gain. I know that this plays an RPO, but I have no idea what routes everybody's on. And we're going to have to take a sack because of it. Evidently, though, no handoff. It was not an RPO. I misread it. On third down, we're escaping. We cut backwards. And are we going to get to the marker in time? We are. This is what it takes to have a perfect player like this. I've been glazing myself all video. I mean, I'm starting to realize there's no excuses if we can't get around some defenders. I would still wish for some more abilities in the future. If we go with a playmaker here, what are you doing? There's no playmaker. How many times are we going to have to roll out? I might go for a back shoulder throw and see if we can turn around and catch this. We can't. We did run into the cornerback, though, so as he just flexes on us, we're going to get the flag. That should 100% be offensive pass interference, but it's all good. Our pocket collapses. If I just take the check down there, we're completely fine because I know it was there for a fact, and our tight end's open, but they're going to catch up to him. Every time that I think we're going to get stopped, though, we end up finding a way to pick it up, so we might not have to settle for 3. I don't know what button that receiver is. I don't know why I thought it was R1, but I hit it. It was going to go to our running back. So here we are, settling for 3, and we miss. Okay, it's time to cut this kid. I don't care we're playing for the worst team in college football. You can't miss that. You got to pull a scholarship. We're trying to upset Oklahoma, and thankfully we got to stop. Now, what I'm really hoping for is we just break off a big run out of one of these. It looks like we're going to be able to get about 8. But look who is out there on the field. It's DeShields. We got injured there, so we're going to have to call a timeout. I can't play this. I can only control the perfect quarterback, and I ran it too many times. Once I see we're back out there on the field, though, we did not get a long-term injury, which is incredible. I'll be able to hop right back in. We're going to have to limit these runs. I can definitely tell wear and tear damage is going to pick up, especially throughout the course of the year. But we have a wide open tight end. I cannot believe I got bailed out with that throw. If it was anybody else, it's not working. The problem, though, is we've just had to continue to watch from the sideline because I got hurt on the sack again. Then I see a couple of plays later, I'm back out there on the field. I tried to help push my running back forward, and I'm just glad I can be out there for 3rd and 13. Potentially the biggest play in this game. We get a touchdown on this drive. We're not going to lose most likely, and we escape the pressure. We're getting near the end zone. We get hit, but we fight in. Look at ourselves. We're tiny, but we are just rocking the baby on them. And by the time our defense gave up a touchdown to the Sooners, there's 29 seconds left. This was the 2-point conversion. There was a flag on the play. It's against them. We'll decline it. And I keep seeing these signs pop up in Road to Glory. I hope we can actually create a custom sign in the future. Recovering that onside kick's big. I bring up the custom sign thing, though, because I just remember that feature in the old games. I know that there'd be just some wild stuff. But you can censor words, I would think, and make sure that that doesn't get in there. We might just run for another touchdown to end this game, actually. Stiff arm kind of worked. But after that, they put the backup in again, so we just had to take a QB kneel and end the game. I'm really starting to worry that as the season goes on, I'm not going to be healthy enough to play every matchup. As nice as it's been to scramble, against our conference opponents, maybe we pass the ball a little bit more. There's not too great a wear and tear effects yet, and look at this. We have 4 silver abilities now, so these continue to add up throughout the year. We honestly just survived through the part of the schedule I was most worried about. We still have to finish with a high enough ranking to make it to the playoff, and we still have to make sure that we don't lose against these next 7 teams in conference play, while staying healthy too. But outside of teams like Toledo, I'm hoping that we can just control all of those games. If we check back into the Heisman Trophy race, we're still sitting in 1st place, so that's not changed at all. And our next matchup's going to be against UMass. If you didn't know, they're in the MAC conference now. They are coming on over to Dick's Stadium. Just making sure you're still paying attention at this point in the video. And I told you all, if there's anything I want to get better at, this would be the time to do it whenever it comes to some pocket passing. My biggest issue, it's honestly just a really bad habit, is I will drop back like 15 yards in the pocket before I get the ball out, so I'm going to do my best to avoid that. I just don't know how much time our offensive line is going to give us on some of these plays, and that was a disappointing, inaccurate throw that I wasn't really expecting. Without my ability to scramble, we've already found ourselves on a 3rd and 10. That was a good late blitz, but I'm glad that we're not dropping back like 15 yards. They're still shedding so quick though that it hasn't made a noticeable difference. We got that one out quick to Sebastian Brown. That's our key. We just got to make a quick read and find a receiver. I think I dropped back too quick there and I just walked straight into a sack. That one might be my fault. You really have to make sure that you're sitting here staying in the pocket. We're going to go for our corner route. That felt good. However, I do have a play where I get to actually roll out. It's designed into it. So it's not me leaving the pocket here, just trying to get a play where I get to scramble. It was designed. I had to do it. We're also going to run a little bit of a fake bubble. Did the pump fake. Now we're throwing it up. We had the leverage on that side, so I placed it there. You know, if anyone's made a noticeable difference in this game so far, it has been Sebastian Brown, so I'm going to look back in his direction. However, there's an injury timeout. What is this shot angle, by the way? Had to point that out too. Now, I don't know how we're back out there on the field. I mean, I was just sitting there struggling, but they have let us play another snap. I think my fear of injuries potentially really hurting this season, though, could be coming true, except Sebastian Brown is him. Sebastian Brown got caught up too. That was insane. I was already prepared to celebrate a touchdown. Instead, we had to punt it straight back to them, and we're going for the playmaker, except it's going to be a flag. I might as well just run back this fake bubble play. I thought it was really cool. We're going down. Well, 3rd and 17. Our offensive line did not hold for long enough. And with 22 seconds left in this first half, we find ourselves trailing by 6. We're going to be able to hit our drag, but I'm not sure how much this is going to get. The second I start sprinting back here in the pocket, though, is when everything starts to collapse. This should be a good throw on the run. I just expect a 99 overall to be a 99 overall and make 0 mistakes. At least against these types of opponents. We're going to get out a very quick read, back shoulder throw, and try and click on to make the catch. It was the best way for us to still get points to end the first half, despite still losing by 3 with that going in. I feel like our defense, though, doing a pretty solid job against UMass. I mean, they've gotten stops. They might be giving up field goals, but that's not as bad as it would be if they were giving up touchdowns. I have definitely not run the ball well, though, in this game. I know it was something I said I wanted to go away from. That was just how we were scoring a lot. Without all these runs, the stats aren't as good. We're actually struggling against a much weaker opponent with us having the best quarterback. I mean, I would say Kent State would probably lose to UMass this year if we didn't have a perfect player. Maybe not, though. Maybe they're rebuilding up there and they're set to have a 6th season, hit our running back immediately, and get very lucky. We've also gotten it back, which is exciting. I'm a little nervous to do play action here, but we did. And eventually, we're going to find a receiver. I have noticed that against man-to-man coverage, our guys aren't really getting that open. But what can I really expect? We're going to throw this one up to our tight end. Both of those defenders ran into each other, and Barry gets into the end zone. I am also so proud of our defense for getting UMass to a 4th and goal. If they get this stop here, we're in a great spot, which they do. Now we just got to try and run out the clock. I wanted to keep that. I just get confused with those power reads. By the way, I figured out what is causing those free rushers to get in. Right now, this guy's on a block and protect route. If I put him on a hot route and I don't adjust the protection, which you can see right here, that's why they're getting the free rusher. It happened to me a lot in my road to glory, and I didn't realize it. Like, sometimes they'll pick up like they did right there. It's just not a guarantee. We did stop them again, though, which we did not deserve. We did not deserve the bailout. I'm trying to go for a touchdown run, honestly, to end this one. And there's just one guy trying to catch us. I couldn't swerve inside. These friend requests, by the way, you all have been sending them like all day, and I need to turn them off. They keep popping up over the scoreboard. They're popping over the deal breakers in Dynasty, along with all of the songs that come up. And I can't see anything. At some point this year, I want to do a video where I play some of you all. That is when I will get to actually be able to accept some of those. I would let you all know on Twitter or something first, though. You don't have to spam me with the requests. We're playing Toledo, who's at the top of the conference with us this next week. I was a little bit worried that our last performance was going to take a hit to our Heisman race contention, but it didn't. And I don't know if this is just me, but what I've noticed is I rarely see injuries in Dynasty this year. I'll definitely see wear and tear effects, but I won't see guys out for like half the season or something, especially in the FIU one. Not that I'm like begging to see more injuries or something, but it is part of college football. It happens, so you want to see some. Toledo is one of those better schools in the MAC, which is why I will go into this one a little bit nervous. The home field advantage could rattle us. Their stadium pulse meter is not too high, though. Nothing to where we're not able to audible, so we're good for now. though this pass out of bounds stinks. I know we had a dude in our face whenever we got that throw out, so it makes sense why it wasn't accurate, but if we could have started the game off with a huge game like that, it would have been sweet. Instead, we're just back to running the football, making it more likely that we're going to get injured at some point. This can be a crisp pass. I would also love to see this vertical route out of triangle become a little bit more useful in the future. They have the option to cut either way, but I feel like the safeties normally play it. That was a terrible example. I mean, Sebastian Brown had all the space in the world there, but normally it doesn't work. I'll try and run it back here, though. It depends if they're in cover 3 or cover 1. Okay, cover 1. Perfect. He didn't cut when he was supposed to. That's fine, though. These receivers, not supposed to be that good. We can't expect them. No, I'm benching Sebastian after that route. I'm sorry. He has to be benched. That was quite possibly the worst sell job he has had all season on one. How can I glaze someone literally 30 seconds ago for them to just turn around and do something like this? I will give him one more chance here. We're going to see how they stick with him if we throw up a deep ball like this. And Toledo got a hand on it. You know what? That might be fair. He's not exactly known for his speed. You know who's known for good route running? Deshaun Martin, but I can't glaze him either because he's just dropping that catch. Give me somebody to glaze on this team. Maybe it's going to be Banks. You see over on that right side? You see over on that right side? He's getting pressed. It's not there. But watch this. We have the size mismatch. We have the size mismatch. Ardell Banks, all of a sudden my new favorite receiver for the next minute or two. Pocket collapsing. They don't want me to get out another good throw. But I thought, why not? Why not? Why are you running at me? Stop! Wait, we're still going? I don't care who that was. This time they're getting benched for the rest of the game. We were going for a big play, and you decide to wave at me and get in my way here? You all are never gonna believe who it was either. I would much rather, I'd have a cornerback in at wide receiver before I'd rather have him out there. Let's see, what is Rollison gonna do versus that cornerback? He gets open. He got open. Don't tell me this corner's about to come in and play better at receiver than our actual receivers. I mean, he caught that ball right there. This time I'm going to put him on a zig route, see if he gets open. Yeah, this kid's crazy. We now have 2 22s at receiver on offense. Let's see how Jair Rollison does, though, whenever he is not the one playing corner for these 50-50 jump balls. Can he still win? It looks like we're going up against a decent one. He dropped it. The worst part is Toledo is not the team to be messing around with stuff like this against either. If there was a team in MAC conference play to beat us, it would probably be them. But oh well, we've already won our first 6. I'm just going to expect us to keep this up. That little delayed guy rushing in was there so we couldn't run out of the pocket. I can't stand that feature. Like, I love that you can reach out, but the fact that it replaced what truck is and it's the same mechanic hurts. My muscle memory just can't fix my bad habits. We got a one-on-one ball, though, with our tight end. Our tight end has speed for this. He hangs on. I don't know why they're treating Christian Berry like he's sorry. We're going to be able to get a field goal before the end of this half. All we have to do, well, we were going to go for the field goal, but then I saw Jair Rollison just run by the defense. Now, don't get me wrong. He's no Travis Hunter. I'm not sure he should be playing on both sides of the ball at the moment. I don't know how great he really is. But Christian Berry, brother, is just bailing me out. Bailout after bailout. And if we're patient enough, we're going to be able to hit Martin. This could also be a crazy cover 2 beater. It depends what type of coverage they're back there in, though. No way Jair does it again. Okay, he doesn't. He doesn't. That was actually really rough. Our defense had to step up for us, but Christian Berry, come on. He had the step there, but that was a good defensive play. We're going to try and throw this back shoulder, but that is not there either, so it's 3rd and 10, and they got in. With 25 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, we're attempting this field goal to go up by 3, and it works. Then we got a defensive stop, and it hit me. What happened to all of these quarterback runs? Because that's what we should be going with. We're a little guy. We should be able to just slip out of here on one of these runs. We have a quarterback zone, a quarterback blast, a quarterback power. We're running all 3 in a row. It didn't work. I thought with 99 speed, I'd just be able to get around that kid. Now we're going to be relying on this cornerback to route up the safety over there. We really do not deserve to win this game, but our defense forced an interception, so we have it back again, and we dropped the ball. That would have literally ended it right there. It was Jair Rollison, too, after all he's done for us. Maybe I shouldn't have messed with the wide receiver depth chart. We're going to try and hit him here, and they could have picked it twice. I'm going to be honest, even if we do stop them again, I feel, like, disgusted with how this one went. I mean, it should have never come down to this 4th and 19 where we missed the tackle at first. I think we tested some fun stuff in this game. I had some petty times where I benched players. But what we just witnessed is not going to win us a championship. It's not going to win us a Heisman Trophy, and it's a Mickey Mouse win. I would really like to return to winning games like we did against Buffalo. We've not done that recently. If you look at the rest of our schedule, though, all of our opponents are below 500 besides the final one, though we have a rivalry against Akron, and we have a rivalry coming up against Bowling Green. We don't play Miami, Ohio, though, the other only undefeated team in conference play, which means one conference loss could still cost us a spot in the conference championship. I can almost guarantee, too, that it would cost us a spot in the playoffs and a spot in the top 25 with even one loss, just because we're only ranked 40th in the country. I was hoping that maybe there was a world where we didn't have to win out, but we do. We are black, though, for this game. I'm excited to rep these jerseys. The helmets especially, I think they've come out pretty well. Now, with how hard some of this rain's coming down, I feel like we might be playing in a hurricane, but what that means is guys aren't going to be able to tackle. We're going to slip all over them. Go for a little spin here, juke, and keep on going. I really hope to get a highlight play in this game. I've seen so many clips online of people like stiff-arming 5 guys and then being able to go for a touchdown. I don't know if that's possible for it to happen to us. We got to throw this one away. Unfortunately, the pursuit was a little bit stronger there than I thought it would be. And here we go. 3rd and 10. We're facing a 1-6 team. Should we have any issues at all? Absolutely not. I lagged right there, though. I don't know why. I'm just experiencing some lag, so that's what happened. It's only 10-0. This is manageable. No reason to panic yet. We get them with the play action, and I need my blockers here. I need my blockers. They didn't do a great enough job there. Why? Why did I think I could fit that into that window? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to cost us a shot at the Heisman. We are a minute 40 away from halftime, and we have 0 points versus 1-6. 1-6 Bowling Green, but that is about to change. You just can't give us the positioning that we're looking for there. We're also going to have a tight end that's open, going to the 15. In the second half, I am going to do a better job of running the football. I think that's one thing we haven't done great in this one, but we should be able to get that one out and catch it. It was about time our receiver started doing some good receiver stuff again. In fact, Deshaun Martin made me so happy with that last grab. I'm going to look back for him on another play. Just not right there. It looked like our tight end was going to be able to get wide open. They're going to commit to stopping us, but a little juke gets us 20 more. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but my idea is if they're running zone coverage, our backup tight end is about to get so open. If we can just get the time to hit him, look at the strategy. It's paying off. It's paying off. He just fit into that little space behind the corner. That's going to be underthrown, though, isn't it? Never mind. We're down to the 8-yard line, and I might get aggressive here. I might get aggressive and just go for it. And just go for it. We are so back with some of these catches. I understand. This game might not be the most fun for those of you that play, like, super competitively. For those of you that play a bunch of Ultimate Team. But for me, an offline player, I'm having a blast. I like that players might not catch every single interception, like real life. I like that we're able to make some aggressive catches and actually hang on to the football. I am starting to wonder, though, if Heisman is not tuned properly, just because it feels like we're winning these, like, literally 90% of the time. That one's going to hurt. We're really dealing with some connection issues right now. I don't know why that ball was thrown in the first place. It was like 3 seconds later than it should have been. I'm not sure what the excuse is. Not my fault, though. Look at that. Easy cut inside to the 10. All we had to do was start running the football a little bit, and we're able to make some big plays. Wait for our block to get picked up. Never mind, we didn't have the angle, though we're going to wait for our halfback angle route, and it was a low pass. Now, I do know that you can highball passes. I forget what the control is. I think it's L1. I might try it right here just to prove a point. Yeah, that's a high ball. No one caught it. We ended up having to kick our 3. But anyway, my whole point with that was going to be there is no low ball in this game. There's just a high ball. But I remember back on Madden's, there used to be a high and a low ball. The low passes were actually really good, but I just don't think it's something that's in this one. We're going to step up again. This has been too many runs. Yes, we have 140 rushing yards. Good for our chance at winning the Heisman Trophy, but not good for our chance at still being healthy whenever we get to the end of this season. But I can't help myself. I tried to be a pocket passer. I threw 3 interceptions. Like, what are we doing? That ball's not even a good one. There is a reason that in my FIU series, we have been a run-heavy team. And it doesn't just have to do with the team that we have. It actually has to do with the skill of the coach playing. To end the third quarter, though, we've made some good progress. I'm really hoping that in the next couple of weeks we can find ourselves in this top 25. It pops up every single time we go into the fourth, but we are never there, so I just want us to get our chance. I mean, they gotta see, there's a Heisman contender on this team. We deserve it. By the way, outside of this rain game, I am really hoping that we get a snow game before the end of the year. I am more worried about that than closing this one out. I just want to play in the snow. Look at that, though. Little RPO is going to help us get a first down. I need to learn how to do that speed boost every single time. There is clearly something that causes your player to run a little bit faster after he takes the handoff, and I just haven't been able to figure out what it is, but it would be super OP. It is so satisfying too. You just have to time something right. There it is though. We get another close win. Not one to be too proud about. It is a rivalry one. And I guess I could sit here and try and ignore those interceptions as I show you our 214 rushing yards, but I threw 3 picks. To be honest, it probably should have dropped us down in the Heisman Trophy race, but we had a bye week after that, so there's nothing else for them to show here. We have thrown only 8 interceptions. I feel like I've thrown more than that, 14 touchdowns, and then rushing-wise, I mean, these stats alone would win a running back the Heisman. Actually, I take that back. It wouldn't. We saw that with Ashton Genty this past season, but it would put us in contention in this game. We still have another 4 matchups as well to probably get those rushing numbers to like 2,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. That would be ideal. What is my goal for this game? Well, I would honestly just like to rack up the stats. I swear, there are just some smart computer AIs, though. They send perfect blitzes for what I want to do. Like if I wanted to roll out and scramble there, it would have been literally impossible. Glad that I was still looking down the field here. I'm just really worried that they're going to continue to get in some of that fast pressure, so we got to have a read. Ball State's been sending more dudes than keeping back so far. I love the idea of him not being able to see that pass. The safety helped there though, so it didn't matter. I did not like that route underneath. All of a sudden, it is 3rd and 16. We got more man-to-man coverage, and honestly, I should not have gotten this first down here. I waited too long. We're all good, though. We're about to score a touchdown. We're going to get a good start off to this game. Nice little separation from Brown. And more importantly, no interceptions yet. That really is more important. I was waiting for that route to get across the field circle, but he just didn't get open at all, which is why scrambling is what I should have always done. You know, that's just going to make our abilities get increased even higher. We had a touchdown to circle, but I was so dedicated on running. And I got to know, how did we burn them that bad there? Stepping up in the pocket. I didn't really like what I saw, but the spin is filthy. We are now 90 rushing yards deep. My running back is in the way of me wanting to throw this corner route over there. He was literally helping me. He was like, you are not going to drop back far in the pocket. You're going to stand tall. And that's what we've done. I was waiting on our slant, though. It does seem like with 99 carrying, it's basically impossible to fumble the football, which has been nice, especially for somebody that just doesn't know when to slide. Not a great play right there, though. It's now 3rd down, and honestly, we're going to have to take 3. We're just having rough week after rough week. Our left guard, though, came back to block for us after he gave up that play. I'm actually so impressed by that. He didn't just stand around like there was no one to block after he gave it up. He came back. He made sure that on the next play, I could throw a pick straight to Ball State. Wonderful stuff for me right there. Just a beautiful read. And don't act like you're injured. Don't do it. I don't know how we find ourselves in this position, but we are trailing as we go towards the end of this first half, which is why we needed Sebastian Brown here. He's just carving these defenses apart. He might go down as our best receiver this season. I'm going to have to slide. I think we can get off one more play real quick, and then we're going to have to take our 3 if we don't get into the end zone, which is why I'm going to send it, get out of bounds. Well, that was pretty pointless. We got out of bounds with a second left on the clock, but we missed the field goal. And here we go. More scrambling, more wear and tear damage. 151 rushing yards, still trailing by 1. This is a perfect pass. I don't know what it is about these streaks up the middle, but they are finding separation. And honestly, our slants just aren't finishing themselves. I keep trying to look over in Deshaun Martin's direction. Wasn't happening there, though, either. We're going to take this 50-50 ball, turn around, and drop it. You know, Deshaun Martin, if we get man-to-man coverage here, we're going to be fine. He got bumped a little bit, and he couldn't hang on. I didn't watch the last field goal either, so we're watching this one. Do not fail us 2 times in a row. We have got to get the lead. I feel like of all my perfect player videos, this might be the worst stats that I end up putting up. We just haven't had that many great plays. Normally, since these guys are so overpowered, I'll have seasons where I get like 60, 70 touchdowns. We win games by 40. But instead, we get marked for 4th and inches, we punt it back to them, and we go back down by a point. Now, I don't know if I should be returning to these quarterback runs. I almost busted that one. It's got us hot. It's got us warmed up to hopefully make some better throws here. We just have to be able to outrun that kid, and it's placed well. The legend of Christian Berry. I might even throw a high ball to him right here. Over that kid's head. Do you see how OP high balls can be? I'm sorry, but if that was a normal pass, if I didn't high ball that, it's getting intercepted 9 times out of 10. The other one time, they're just going to drop it. We seriously got the bailout again, though. Our defense doing what they need to at this point in the game. And here is a big run from myself. Almost got loose. 200 rushing yards on the day. It's just light work at this point. They're going to be ready for the speed option, but Garcia is able to get us close to the marker. And we are 1 first down away from sealing this. We don't need many yards at all. I don't know why I kept it. That might have been a little bit greedy there, though I see cover 3. We're going to split it. Actually, I think that was cover 2. What a great ending to this matchup, though. We can't throw an interception in our final couple games because I do think once you hit 10 interceptions, you can't win the Heisman. Not 100% sure, though. I don't know. I just saw someone online that had like 79 passing touchdowns, but they had 10 picks, so they didn't get the Heisman. That's what worries me. We are ranked inside the top 25, though, and we're the highest ranked group of 5 teams. We still have 3 games left in the season, though, before we get to anything too important, and this is the battle for the wagon wheel. I know that they have added the Zips mascot. I'm not sure if they've added this trophy or not, or if it's even a trophy in real life. I mean, this is normally the battle, at least recently, of 1-11 versus 0-12. Are we tuning in? The only correct answer to that, by the way, is yes, it's college football. We're always tuning in. We have gotten a turnover that allows us to start this game with the easiest touchdown of all time. I really wasn't kidding about this normally just being the battle of 2 very bad teams. So this could easily turn into a blowout, which is something I've been looking for recently. They're not going to catch us there. No way. I actually really like that too. We had the momentum. It would be harder to make that tackle in that situation. Right there, though. Yeah, they got it. We just needed to get that edge a little bit quicker. They have nobody on Garcia, though. They just left him open. What would be super sweet is if those fade routes still worked as well as they did in college football 25. I mean, that used to be the freest touchdown of all time. Instead, we can scramble. There's 3 dudes coming after us. We're going to juke the first. We're going to juke back into the second. Wear and tear damage, though, not bugging us yet, which is some good news. Our tight ends seem to get open, but they had a contained set, and that just shows how fast we really are. I mean, there's very few players that can escape something like that. Up 14-0, though. This honestly feels great. We're going to set our feet before getting this pass out. And look at that. Easy. Easy completion. We got some zones here, so we're going to use Playmaker, and the computer got to us in time. It is all good, though. If they run man-to-man coverage, we trust Christian Berry to just burn whoever's on them. Why is there an 80 on it? We might have a receiver trying to play both sides of the ball here. Once again, halfback angle route. We're taking it. Bailey reaches across and back to probably my favorite play in college football 26, quarterback blast. I honestly might have to rank it above the jet touch pass for me last year. I've just had so many fun plays out of it, and you have to really read the hole correctly for it to actually work. You don't have to just hope that nobody's able to guard it. Are they playing in like a match coverage? Because they stuck with Garcia. I mean, it didn't matter. I also think we're going to have a touchdown here if they didn't lock me into whatever animation that was. The play might have had pump and go in the title, so I should have known that we were going to get locked into a pump fake like that. But if we didn't, then we would have easily been able to run for a touchdown. We caught that? You know, the more I play this, you definitely see some weirder stuff in this game. There's interception number 10. I was better off taking the sack there. We're already up 21-0, but I forced it. Akron, by the way, is sitting there celebrating with a tire on their head. Even if we are embarrassing them, I can't let them do that to us. We're going to have to run up the score. We've already thrown for another touchdown. We're going for number 5 here. We're just going to Playmaker and then barely get to it. What a move from Garcia, though. By this point in the game now, I should honestly just be getting benched. But they're going to give it to us. They're going to give us a chance to get a 50-50 ball. Deshaun Martin didn't want it that bad, though. In the final minute, they would score the next 10 points. But if we make that throw on the run, I mean, that is just incredible. Also, I love the detail behind the fact that I could hear Akron fans booing us for that. I don't know if they're booing us because we're running up the score or if they're just booing their team for being that bad. But they're about to give us one more touchdown. We're short. Going for a quarterback sneak's a little interesting too. We weigh like 100 less pounds, but we fall over. And this is how I was hoping that we would take home the wagon wheel. I feel like I looked into it and both of these cities were like little suburbs of Cleveland. I might be wrong though. Never mind. I don't know what I was thinking, what I was talking about. It is Kent that is a little suburb of Akron. At least it looks like it is on the map. I've lived in Kentucky my whole life. I've never been up to that part of Ohio. It's probably only like 4 or 5 hours away. But look at this. We have set the Kent State single-season rushing touchdowns record. It would be nice if it told us what that was. Instead, we gotta go in here and check. We have 21 rushing touchdowns. That's some solid stuff. If you look at the playoff projection, we're supposed to get in as the 12 seed, so we are supposed to be the 5th highest ranked conference champion at the moment. If we look at the top 25, yeah, there's no one else besides Tulane even threatening us, and they're 7-3. Then if you go over to conference standings, it seems like we're going to be playing Toledo again. No matter who it is, I'm honestly fine with it. We're still sitting on top of the Heisman Trophy race. So 10 interceptions isn't holding us back, but I don't know how much more I want to push it. You can still see a lot of our crowd is just empty. They are not tuned in with Kent State football, and it's a shame. We're sitting here with 10 wins on the season and a quarterback that doesn't care if he's about to take a safety, because instead he's going to scramble, and none of those guys are catching him. Only this guy could, and he does. We might be able to toast them over on that side of the field, though, depending on the coverage look that we get. Put it right in the middle of all those players. You get yourself a good enough quarterback, you get yourself a clean pocket. You can't tell me that you can't place this ball wherever you want. They've got to polish out some of this stuff, though. I thought I was tripping out for a second when he just teleported like that. It's like last year. Longer you play it, the more you notice. All right, we're running backwards. We're really running backwards, and we're going to be able to escape it. I could have probably thrown for a touchdown, but instead I just lost like half of our wear and tear in this game for probably like a 3-yard gain. Even 99 stamina does not last forever. Cover 3, come back to the ball. Perfect. That one should be a catch. He had the positioning for it. We beat maybe 2 players deep on this play, or I was just seeing things. Deshaun Martin doesn't have it like that. I thought he did for a second, though. If we can just hold that one block, we're gone. There's a safety and another one that might catch us. But that's going to be the problem with running man-to-man coverage. I mean, it sticks well against our receivers, but you are opening the door for my scrambling abilities to really come out. And with this run to the outside, we're in the end zone. It is already 14-0. I hit the wrong button here, and it doesn't matter. I just can't believe people tell me, to this day, that aggressive catches don't work in this game, because I show you they do. In fact, I'm feeling so good about them, we're going to go for another, but we dropped it over his head. We didn't even need it. Can we break off a 93-yard rushing touchdown, though? That's what I'm going to be looking for here, and we're short. It really didn't end up impacting us too bad, though. I don't know how we were able to just get that open, but I'll take it. And I have noticed our backup tight end, Mohammed Hazim, has been in for this entire game, which lets me think our normal starting tight end, Christian Berry, is out with an injury or something. I don't know when I'm going to learn those scrambles to get like 5 yards. Just aren't worth it. Forming bad habits for when I start playing that FIU dynasty again. We are still going to be able to close this one out, though. I mean, our defense just keeps getting us the ball back. And that's why you get the extender ability. Good players should feel like good players, and he does. I just want us to keep this up as well. We're going to hit Hazim. We're going to hit Hazim. We're going to hit Hazimi. However you say it, we're going to continue to feed the kid because nobody wants to guard him. We're going for the hurdle. Go for it. We might as well just go for my favorite player as well and get a flag. You know, he looks in disbelief, and you should be in disbelief. I don't know what else you can do. Poor guy had no idea how he was going to stop us there besides a little bit of holding, and I was going to go for a quarterback run. But I've decided it's better. If they give us this man-to-man look, which I could tell was coming, we're going to test it. They gave a solid D right there, though, so you know what? This will work. After that, we just close out the game, keeping it 35-0, running out the rest of the clock, getting the win, and continuing to keep our name in the Heisman race. Even though the passing stats have never been that incredible for us this year, I feel like this is one of our best games in that regard, and we still had more rushing touchdowns. We've also broken another Kent State single-season record whenever it comes to our rushing yards, and I don't know what the tiebreaker is for second place in the MAC conference, but we're going to be locked into the conference championship no matter what. To lock ourselves into the playoffs, though, we still have to beat Northern Illinois, and they're running out to their home crowd that's definitely not going to be full. It is actually like incredibly hard to read their record on the scoreboard, but they've won 4 games. I'm like 99% sure they've won 4 games this season, so they've not had the best of years. I'm pretty sure if we look back like 4 weeks ago as well, they were sitting at 4-3, so they were playing solid, and then they must have faced some harder opponents. Are we going to be able to outrun everybody here? Use a little stiff arm? We're not getting enough. I would have liked the touchdown, but it's probably going to come on this play. No one's open versus that man-to-man coverage. It just won't matter. The best thing as well is whenever I say no one's open, I'm looking at one receiver. I'm sure there's always someone else that's probably open. So then the comments get mad at me like, no, you had this guy open right there. I didn't know. You got to understand, there's no reading a defense here. We're scanning for our one read, like our tight end, and I'm either throwing it or I'm running. It's just a habit that's not getting broken. And honestly, if it did get broken, I might end up being too good. Wouldn't that be a sight to see? I wouldn't end up throwing like 13, 14 picks a year. He got a hand on that. I couldn't tell if he looked back at the football or not. I'm sure he had time to do so. Not the best block in the world. Gavin Garcia, pick that kid up. I need to see more there. Now, this is one of those interesting situations where I was throwing it no matter what, and it's still our backup tight end out there on the field, which could be a problem once we come playoff time. It's just not going to be an issue in this game, and we've been playing pretty well with him too. I asked for more injuries in the season, and then we got them. Christian Berry out for multiple weeks. I guess that's a little change they made. I kind of like that it says that instead of just giving you like a specific date no matter what. They're going to be back by this time, because you wouldn't know. You'd have an idea, but that's about it. Probably when it comes closer to when they're going to get back, it would say like 1 week. And even though this play completely fell apart, I thought I'd try and make something out of it. I know, it's really going to shock y'all I did all of that for just 5 yards, but I did, and we're going to have to punt. I would be so mad, though, if we made it to this point in the season, and then I picked up my first loss. We're going for the juke. That is why they let us juke behind the line of scrimmage. Let's go for another, and another. As a normal playmaker user that just playmakers guys all the time, I was annoyed by the update at first. I didn't like that I had to hit an extra button. But now, I really appreciate it. We are literally at 154 rushing yards in the first half. Roll out. Again, hard pass. That's a tutty. It's going to be weird when we get to the playoffs, assuming that we continue to win. And then we play harder schools where I can't just do stuff like this, where we juked around a kid in the pocket. Come on, give me something out of this. I have to complete a pass after keeping the play alive for this long. Whenever you can, find a player that's not real and just put a perfect player on a team. It's probably some of the most fun that you're going to have. Garcia, wide open, touchdown. Awful defensive alignment there. I could have told you that was going to be open and probably made that read with my eyes closed. We're going to set our feet forever here. And he's slow, but he still gets in. This one turned into another blowout for us pretty quick. We have players that are on fire, so I want to see how much on fire really matters. Sebastian Brown, hang on, buddy. You're about to escape 0-12 Kent State if you're making plays like that. I mean, we got to have some better coaches watching. Wide open. It almost feels a little unfair. I have caught some of the passes I have this season. I guess these defensive backs just aren't good enough, though, to make a play on the ball. I don't know. I've definitely been bailed out for some pretty bad reads. Typically, whenever I use the worst team in the game, everyone else around the star player has been awful. I feel like that hasn't really been the case in this video, though. Tulane jumped us in the rankings, by the way. I just want to point this out. At 9-3, they jumped us in the rankings, and if they get that playoff spot over us, I will be salty. I mean, it's not like we played a super strong schedule. Oklahoma finished 6-6, Florida State 5-7, but Texas Tech we won at on the road, and they're ranked in the top 25. We also have 3 less losses than them. I just feel like we should be getting shown a little bit more respect. Super small schools have just been nerfed pretty hard on this game, though. Our coach just appears out of thin air to take over this team. You know what's going to happen, though, if he tries and tells me what to do? I'm not going to listen, because I know that we can lead this team to great things. We got to start on the 3-yard line. It's like our defense recently is just doing all of the heavy lifting. They've been able to force another turnover for us. I mean, we're going to end this first quarter running like no offensive plays, but being able to go up 14-0. I'm glad the second time we're facing Toledo, though, they still don't have an option to stop us. They just haven't been able to figure it out yet, and we're going to look for our tight end if he's not there, on the run, making a great throw over to Deshaun Martin. We still lean on him quite a bit. Running back picks up that kid coming in. But I literally lost all leverage because I was just trying to run backwards to escape out of there. Now they're all over Deshaun. And I'm going to be honest, the best chance for us converting on 3rd and 23 is either throwing up a 50-50 ball or scrambling. I decided we were going to scramble here, and that was the right move. We're going to throw up a ball on the run on this play as well. I just want to have some fun with this one. Never mind. Double covered. If it was single coverage, I would have put it up there. Maybe this will be the one. I want to see if on the run, we can make like a crossbody throw that gets us into the end zone. We can. I'm sorry, Toledo, but I'm afraid you just don't stand a chance against us. In fact, if they give us this look and we hit that second level without getting touched, we're just gone. We're going to be gone. Yep. What did I say? I saw it and I took advantage of it. The craziest part too is they've played pretty solid offensively. They just haven't been able to stop us. And at this point, I'm gonna go for some highlight plays because we can. We're gonna be able to get around him there, and we're throwing it. We're throwing it. Oh, they got a hand on it. To win the Heisman Trophy, we probably don't need another interception. We haven't had any in this game yet. I'd like to keep it that way, but I would also like to get one more touchdown. In fact, I even tried to get a little bit more at the end, and you're not going to believe it, I threw a pick. So we'll see how that affects the Heisman. For how dominant we were all year, I really don't think it should. It'll really just depend, though, how they weigh rushing stats versus interceptions for a quarterback. We get the Walter Camp Award. What I am more worried about, though, is not the Maxwell. I want to see the Heisman Trophy popping up here in a second, and it looks like it's gonna come to us. We took home about every award that we could. We're facing USC in the playoffs, and fortunately for us, even with Tulane winning, we were able to get in. It ranked us right at the end of the season. We would play Indiana in the second round if we get past the Trojans, and I don't think our side of the bracket's that bad. Now, if you look at our passing stats, maybe it's a little bit disappointing. On the rushing side of things, though, when you pair it with 31 rushing touchdowns, 2,000 yards, you had to give us the Heisman. I also wasn't paying that much attention to it, but in the background, all of these abilities have been getting upgraded all season. Our wear and tear damage isn't even that bad. We're going to be able to last throughout the entire playoffs. But the one thing that could hold us back from doing that is losing any of these games. Going on the road, this is honestly going to be the toughest one for us to get through, the first matchup. We did get a defensive stop against them, though, which is a great start. We break their first attempt at a sack, but you can see it's not as easy to run. That means we might just need to get back to throwing the ball a lot more. I'm gonna be honest, ever since we hit conference play and then we started really cruising, I don't know if I've made any like real reads. I literally was just scrambling and audibling to 4 verticals. Was it realistic? No. Was I having a fun time? Absolutely, which is why I don't care. Look at this blocking too. They, for whatever reason, have not schemed for our rushing abilities. This is as good as the game could go the rest of the time, though, for all that we know. Never mind, USC has decided they don't want to show up offensively and that they want to give us a great chance at winning. So far, no points for them, 7 for us. We also have Christian Berry back. I just saw him in right there. We're going to hold this block for long enough, and we're actually about to get out. I really thought we were about to turn up field there and get a touchdown, just because we seem to be faster than most guys, but they've gotten in a rusher, and this is not the team to be doing this against. Never mind. We're still fast enough. We are still fast enough. Someone over at USC is not going to be having a good time after this game as well, because as you can see, it's about to be 21-0. I mean, how much better could this be going for us? Roll out. No one decides that they're going to try and stop the scrambling quarterback, and the spin gets us loose. We needed just a little bit of a burst of acceleration there, and that turns into one of the plays of the season. I tried to playmake our running back to come over to this side of the field. I would have preferred to give it to him. Definitely would have preferred it over taking that shot. And here's what I'm curious about. So if we run a slant here, they clearly have the inside leverage. What if we ran a little bit of an out route, though? Are our receivers good enough to where they're going to get open there? They are. That is something I think you should really pay attention to before every play, and I just figured it out. I'm sorry, Deshaun Martin, as good as you've been for us this year, if they're going to have inside leverage like that, you're not getting open versus man-to-man. But he did because of where we put him. It's also popping up that they're running like some sort of cover 4 palms here. So we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. We have not slung it deep very often this year. The craziest part there, too, is we had the step for the longest time, but when it actually came to making the catch, USC's corner was able to catch us, and we've got him beat deep. We've got him beat deep. What a route from JJ. He's a very underrated piece on this team. I've probably only thrown him the ball like 5 times in this video, but he stretches teams out. We are also 10 for 11, by the way, and I've made like no mistakes in this game. Just want to throw that out there, especially as I'm about to really test USC. Maybe that was not there. Maybe that was the bad read in that situation. I need enough time to get this one out, though. He's back. Christian Berry is back, better than ever. No quarterback spy. Interesting decision. We are going to go for the dunk, but we're too short. We might have just hit flow state with this team, or USC is honestly not that good. One of the two. Without any spoilers, though, pretty sure I've just played this team in a similar situation in a recent video. That one was honestly more of a shock than this one's been for us. We're going to hopefully break free, but we can't. We didn't have enough of a pass lead there, so they were able to catch up. On 3rd down, we find Christian Berry. This has just been a top-tier performance. We haven't even gone with a read option, a quarterback run, none of that yet. We're going to try it. Just trying to find ways for us to get closer to the end of this game, but as long as the clock's running, we're fine. I swear, we blow a 28-3 lead in this situation. I will never hear the end of it. We aren't getting open, though, which means we had to juke, and then we got close to field goal range. I don't know why coach is letting us go for this. He probably should have just punted and trusted our defense again, though we have the glitch where we can't hike the ball. So hopefully, after hitting L1R1, IDing the mic, it's going to let us do it. It does. Cut. Open. catch. It is so nice having Christian Berry back. They were obviously able to stop us there originally, but eventually we're getting out. By now as well, I feel like we have run off enough clock to no matter what, this one's over. After this performance, I'm honestly feeling so confident just going into the final games of these playoffs. We still got to win 3, and I don't know what the defense was doing. We'll take it though. We got to celebrate a little bit extra on them. I can't believe how much that looks like me as well. I kind of forgot our next matchup was going to be against Indiana, so this was a nice surprise to see. Not like they're bad or anything. It's just if you look at our side of the bracket and then you look over to the other one where there's a Georgia, a Clemson, a Michigan. Not going to give Auburn that same praise. You have to say, we have the easier side. In fact, now that I've set my standards high, if we don't make it to the national championship, I'm gonna be disappointed. It feels like 9 times out of 10, though, there's always something that goes wrong with these perfect player videos. I think of like the 7, the 10 I've done, I've only been able to win a championship once. It's just a yearly tradition at this point, though there was no Road to Glory player skill point glitch this year, so I couldn't do it inside Road to Glory, and I thought I was spinning there. It's actually disappointing. We got warped into a throwing animation after crossing the line of scrimmage, and then we get penalized with a flag. That was a rough start to the game, but we're going to get this pass out quick, pick up the first. We're coming off of a legendary performance versus USC. Now, it might not have looked that good if we weren't playing as well defensively, so that is important to keep in mind. Also, why does Gavin Garcia have to be a lefty? I was going for the stiff arm, and then I realized he's holding the ball in his left hand. Can't do that. We're going for the juke. Get out of here. You're not stopping us. We don't even have jukebox or anything. Can you imagine if we had a shifty ability on our QB? I really wish that we were able to figure that out. Are they going to play that? I really thought that zone would get off of him by then. We're going to throw this one up to our slant way underthrown. But do you know who mastered click-on catches in NCAA Football 14 and now has the ability to do them again? I did. It is a major skill gap, though, if you ask me. How do you stop it on defense? I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure. It doesn't work every time, but I feel like 75% of the time it's probably worked for us in this video. We're going to break a tackle after juking one, getting out of there, and we're still going. Now, what I didn't realize was all those juke moves are taking a hit to our stamina. It's just something I have to keep in mind. What am I doing? I ran 30 yards backwards thinking we were doing something and then got intentional grounding. Bright moment for the Bordeaux channel. It is 2nd and 50. Are we going to be able to convert here? Hard bullet pass. We're so locked in. We are so locked in. I'm not blowing this. Right over that zone. Turn around. Well, he turned around. No eyes, no picks. He looked at us, though. Every time I throw an interception, though, I can't help but think about the no eyes, no picks thing. Whether they're looking dead at the ball or not, which I don't know if he did before he caught that. I really don't care. I don't need their eyes to look in that direction in a video game to know it was a bad read. It was a bad one. If we've gotten video games to that point where they're that realistic that that's what we're looking for, I'm happy with where video games are at. Come on. Let's get this first. Get out of there. Hold your block. Shame. I want to get some more big plays going my way. If we complete this, I mean, what are we talking about, dude? Just everything going our way. Oh, man-to-man coverage was not your brightest idea, Indiana. You're going to let us tie it up. Never mind, they have 21 points. We're still down by 7. Fortunately, though, with that last minute of the first half, they didn't do anything, and we've been driving down the field on them to start the third. We are so close to tying things back up. Send in your blitz. Let our halfback angle route get open. Diving, catch, and everything. It just makes me feel a certain type of way, though I didn't like being in that position there. And guess who still can't stop us? There is no reason we should be going to the 30. I'm going to miss having a player like this so badly because we're never for the rest of this year will have a quarterback of this level. It really is a shame. I don't think even with like a bunch of manual upgrades on an Elite Dev 5-star, it's going to be possible to recreate somebody like this, but we better lock in. It's 3rd and 10. Wide open tight end, turn around, possession catch. We actually cannot afford to make any mistakes at this point in the game. I love a wide open slant route, though. I mean, he dusted everyone. Indiana also got stopped, gave us the ball back. We're just going to leave our route on the field here, I guess. Everybody can know where we're throwing the football, and I still didn't complete it. Messing up this 3rd and inches would be bad news. I'm going to keep it. We got an extra block coming over. Thank goodness. It was game over if no one picked that guy up. I did not want to give it back to Indiana. But it's looking like we're going to need a high ball to Christian Berry here. I'm going for it. Right over the middle. That was a perfect use of a high ball as well. I actually have a plan to just scramble, but they didn't pick up that 3rd guy, which means we're throwing it. We're getting lucky. No shot. No shot. You know, I'm starting to see, if I did play competitive in a bunch of online, how there might not be much defense in this game. Because my goodness, what else do you want them to do? We are on the hardest difficulty, and we have probably gotten the most favorable animations this entire video, but we fumbled. We just fumbled. I was sitting there like saying how easy it was. This cannot be it for us. It's time to lock in defense. We're watching from the sideline. I have a feeling that Indiana's probably going to get down the field and score, but it'll be third down. I just hope that if the AI is smart enough to get a stop here, that we would also be smart enough to call a timeout. I don't think I fumbled on a run all year until that one play, so I wasn't even worried about sliding. To watch our chance at a championship just get taken away, though, would be so sad. No, you're not fast enough. The computer heard how I was talking about their defense, and now they've decided to humble me. The worst part, too, is it's 2nd and inches, and we could have had that. They are not in field goal range yet. If they hand this ball off, though, they're going to just destroy the Kent State defensive line. About the only thing that could save us now is getting a sack. They're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be trying to get in field goal range. And Kent State isn't even calling any timeouts. This is awful. We tried to ice them. It's going to be a 52-yarder to go up by 3 points. And it's in. We have 12 seconds to send this one to overtime. I think Patrick Mahomes has done this before, though, against the Bills. Can we do it here ourselves? Open receiver, out of reach. No shot. What is the point of having a perfect quarterback if we can't make that throw? There is only one option I see left in this game, and that is literally bring everybody over to the right side of the field. We're going to set our protection to full slide over there, and we're going to roll out. If they have man-to-man coverage, we're going to be able to scramble. If they don't, we're going to have to make the play of our career. That is going to do it. We got too confident. We should have taken down Indiana, but I decided not to slide, and it cost us. This is an unfortunate end to this run. I will always respect Indiana in this game after this, though. But at least I still had a good time while filming this. Iowa State went undefeated and won the Natty. And our final stats ended up being 3,200 passing yards, another 2,300 rushing yards, 36 on the ground, 31 through the air. We had some other receivers that did all right. But even with a perfect quarterback, I couldn't save the worst team on the game. We'll see if any of that changes once I do this with a halfback and a wide receiver.